Hey guys, Larry here, and for today's video, I'm going to be talking about the best and worst iteration of all characters in Smash competitively. This time I'll be doing characters that debuted in Brawl. If you haven't watched my previous videos where I talk about the 64 and Melee characters, I'll have that linked in the description. Before I start, I want to address this probably the comment I've gotten the most out of this series, and it's about me saying that Ultimate Mewtwo is the worst iteration of the character. No, I did not forget about Melee Mewtwo. I probably should have mentioned him, but currently Melee Mewtwo is arguably a mid tier. He's still considered a low tier, but he's like borderline mid. When I mentioned Ultimate Mewtwo, I specifically said the pre-patch version of him before the many buffs he got. You can pause to look at the buffs here because I'm not going to talk about them, but with all the improvements he got, he is still considered a low tier. So the current version of him is a low tier and the pre-patch version is significantly worse. That is why I said pre-patch Ultimate Mewtwo is the worst iteration of him competitively. Hopefully that makes sense, but with that out of the way, let's get started. The best version of Meta Knight is Brawl. This version of Meta Knight is the best and most overpowered character in Smash history. Except for being able to shoot a projectile, Meta Knight could do just about anything, and if he wasn't the absolute best at it, he was one of the best. His Mach Tornado is one of the craziest moves any character has ever had. This attack can beat out other moves while also being a combo starter, finisher, and recovery move. His Shuttle Loop was yet another overpowered move he has, which could be used like a DP when he's grounded thanks to it having full intangibility on startup. The aerial version was a fast, unreactable edge guarding tool that can take stocks at very low percents, especially if not DI'd properly. He's so good that it's possible for him to beat players using these two moves alone, maybe even just one of them. The worst version of Meta Knight is Smash Ultimate. Coming from Brawl to Smash 4, they nerfed just about everything about him, and they slightly nerfed him again in Ultimate. His best trait in Smash 4 was his ability to ladder combo the opponent with his up air and close out stocks with Shuttle Loop. He can still do this in Ultimate, but it's noticeably worse due to the combo being harder to pull off in general, and the kill power on Shuttle Loop being worse than it was previously. The change also made Shuttle Loop more punishable if he doesn't take the stock, so it can be risky for him to perform the combo if he doesn't get the kill. Pit is one of the characters that's given me the most trouble for this series. The problem is that Pit ends up around the same tier in just about every Smash game, so it's difficult to say which one is the best and which one is the worst. I felt like the best version was pretty obvious, but I had a lot of trouble with the worst. Let me know in the comments what your opinion on this is, but for the best version of Pit, I went with Smash Ultimate. Thanks to the buffs he got in 2 patch updates and Zachary's performances with him at major events, it's shown that Pit at a top level has the potential to be a high tier character at worst in Smash Ultimate. Some of you probably already predicted this, but for the worst version of Pit, I went with Brawl. Here's the problem with Pit in Smash 4 and Brawl. Like I said earlier, he's roughly around the same tier in both games. The major difference between Pit in 4 and Brawl is that in Smash 4, all of Pit's matchups are slightly losing at worst. In Brawl, Pit has one matchup that is considered to be more than slightly losing, and it's to Meta Knight. Meta Knight is by far the most common character in competitive Brawl, so to have a losing matchup that you're going to play often, I think for that reason he has to be the worst. The best version of Suit Samus is Smash 4 before she got her boost kick nerfed in patch 1.1.4. This version of the character is so strong thanks to being able to heavily abuse Smash Bros mechanics, primarily Rage, where if she has enough of it, she can take stocks at super low percents, including at 0 thanks to her ladder combo.
Welcome to Smash 4.
Her down throw has a large combo window, giving her the ability to set up her ladder combos out of it or other combos and kill moves. Even without her ladder combo, she has great options to close out stocks, especially with neutral air comboing into many different attacks like flip kick, which takes stocks super early, or being able to get a combo by paralyzing the opponent with neutral special and down smash. The worst version of Suit Samus is her current iteration in Smash Ultimate. She still was very strong at the beginning of the game, even with losing her combo throw, rage kill combos, and her paralyzing moves being weaker. It wasn't until the massive nerfs she got in patch updates that she became a not so great character. Which is impressive because she's still solid, just not the top tier she was in the beginning. In addition to being power crept by DLC, her neutral air, which was one of her best neutral tools and combo starters, got nerfed, making it slightly more laggy. They also made her boost kick slightly slower, flip jump worse, and gave her a weaker forward smash. The best version of Wario is Smash Ultimate, specifically before he got nerfed in patch 11.0. This version of Wario is basically the same as he is currently, except for two major things. His up tilt hitbox is more active, meaning it's easier for him to not only anti-air the opponent with the move, but also it's much easier for him to convert off of it and combo into waft. Speaking of waft, that move has less startup in this version, so it's a lot easier for him to get his waft kill combos. Even without waft, Wario has a very strong combo game and ways to close out stocks at decent percents, like comboing down tilt into his newly animated dash attack, or using his amazing airspeed to edgeguard the opponent. The worst version of Wario is easily Smash 4. Despite Smash 4 having more hit stun, Wario's combos are actually weaker in this game. His aerials have more end lag, making it harder or impossible for him to get the combos he'd be able to in Ultimate. In addition to this, his dash attack isn't a kill move, but instead has a property where the later hit has a 100% trip rate. If you're able to land it, it's good because you can combo off of it, but considering how situational that is, it's not great. Coming from Brawl, he got a new forward smash animation, which is overall worse than it was previously. His up air is significantly weaker, having less kill power, less range, and more end lag. He also lost his ability to use bike tires, which gave him some amazing combos and setups. This version of Wario is more heavily reliant on waft, due to him losing the strengths he had in Brawl, and not yet getting the improvements he got in Ultimate. Next up we have Snake, who is one of those characters that have only been in 2 Smash titles so far. Even though he's only been in 2 games, he's really good in both of them. So saying he's the best in one and the worst in another doesn't do much justice because he's amazing in both. But if I were to choose a best version, it would be Ultimate. The universal jump squat change was a massive buff to Snake since in Brawl, he had the worst jump squat in the entire game. Thanks to this, he's far more mobile and has a much easier time comboing off of his explosives. It also helps that they gave Nikita a massive buff, making it a much easier edgeguarding tool, and he now has an easy to do death combo when he down throws the opponent at 160%. The worst version of Snake is Brawl, but like I said, it's very debatable, and even then he's really good. One of the reasons Snake was as good as he is in Brawl is due to his massive hitboxes. I'm not sure if this has been 100% confirmed, but I've heard the reason his hitboxes are as big as they are is that they initially planned for him to be a larger character, and they made him smaller and reduced his hurtbox, but never changed his hitboxes. Even though Brawl lacks combos, Snake can do a lot of damage off of a single hit and take stocks very early. Even then, he still had the ability to combo off of his grenades to rack up a lot of damage or even close out stocks. In Brawl, Snake has a technique called grenade stripping where you can cancel the momentum of one grenade and even force your opponent to drop a grenade they're holding. Despite him being slow on the ground frame data wise, Snake can use an advanced technique called dash attack cancelled up smash, or DACS for short, to quickly travel on the ground while also attacking the opponent. His down smash in Brawl is also different than it is in Ultimate. In Brawl, he plants a landmine that stays on the ground and can kill you off the top if you step on it at higher percents. I'm honestly glad they changed it in Ultimate. The best version of Ike is Smash Ultimate at the very start of the game, before his neutral air got nerfed and his ether could be used better in last stock situations. In this version, his neutral air was a significantly stronger tool and was a more central part of his moveset. The combo window it had was massive. It was not only used to rack up damage, but help him close out stocks. In last stock situations, he could also use his ether off stage to trade stocks with the opponent, except they would die first. He can still do this in later versions, but you have to use ether in a much lower position than before. The other reason for Ike being as good as he is in this version is players not knowing how to effectively counter certain options due to the game being so new. If you want to learn more about his rise and fall in Ultimate, I made a video talking about that and I'll have it linked. The worst version of Ike is Smash 4, specifically during the 3DS period of the game. Ike was so bad in the very beginning of Smash 4 on the 3DS that competitively he was arguably the worst character in the entire game.
He's so slow.
The reason Ike was so bad is that a lot of his attacks had significantly more end lag and some of his moves even had less range. His down tilt, which in later patches would be one of his best combo tools, had 10 additional frames of end lag on it, meaning he couldn't really use it to combo that well. His forward air couldn't be auto cancelled from a short hop, meaning it's much more unsafe to throw out. That's not even including the many buffs he's gotten throughout Smash 4. His recovery was also worse due to his side special Quake Draw having more startup. Basically, all of his moves are worse in one way or another. The crazy part is, he got all of these improvements and his fully buffed version is still not considered that good in Smash 4. Pokemon Trainer, yet another character that has only been in 2 iterations of the Smash titles. There is Charizard, who made an appearance in Smash 4 without Squirtle and Ivysaur, but to be honest, even if I were to include him in this part, the results would be the same in my opinion. The best version of Pokemon Trainer is easily Smash Ultimate. This version of the character got some massive quality of life buffs such as being able to switch in the air and the removal of many mechanics that harm Trainer in Brawl. The characters individually also got some pretty good buffs, especially Ivysaur and Charizard. This version of the character works very well cohesively, and it really feels like each character has their own unique strengths that they can use to help them win matches. The worst version of Pokemon Trainer is Brawl, where they're pretty bad, and a lot of it is because of the multiple mechanics the character had. The biggest flaw Pokemon Trainer has is fatigue. Basically, if a Pokemon was in play for a certain period of time, they would become tired and their attacks would become significantly weaker. In order to remove their fatigue, you need to switch Pokemon, which has a lot more end lag than Ultimate and can only be done on the ground. To make matters worse, Squirtle is the only character out of the three that you can even make an argument for being viable competitively. To make matters even worse, Ivysaur is considered to be worse than Ganon in Brawl competitively. There's also type weaknesses, so fire attacks actually do more damage to Ivysaur. Basically, the only character that stands a legitimate chance against good characters, players can just camp out until they get tired, and then you're forced to either fight with a weaker version of Squirtle, or switch into the worst character in the game, and if you switch, you're probably going to get punished on top of that. The best version of Diddy Kong is obviously Smash 4. Before he got nerfed, Diddy Kong was considered the best character in the entire game. Despite losing his ability to use two bananas at once like he could in Brawl, he got many more improvements like his up air, which at the time was the best up air in the entire game. The attack came out on frame 3, could be comboed into or out of, and at high percents, was one of the best kill moves in the game. He also had an infinite combo called the Hoo-Ha, where he does down throw into up air.
That's true.
This worked as low as 0% and could also be a kill combo.
Priority on pound is so good. And there it is.
It also worked insanely well with Rage, allowing Diddy Kong to take stocks at even lower percents. His up throw could also combo into his up air and could take stocks at even earlier percents than his down throw. Even without up air, Diddy Kong has great kill power and amazing kill options like forward air and his other smash attacks, which can easily be comboed into thanks to his banana. Both of Diddy's recovery options, Monkey Flip and Rocket Barrel Boost, got improvements, making his recovery significantly better. Basically, they took one of the best characters in Brawl, nerfed his projectile, but gave him massive buffs on his other moves and gave him two really good combo throws. The worst version of Diddy Kong is Smash Ultimate, specifically the initial release before his many buffs. I think a lot of people forget that pre-patch Ultimate Diddy Kong was nowhere near as good as his current iteration. His recovery was significantly worse due to Rocket Barrel Boost not traveling as far and him falling faster while charging the move. He also has less combo potential because of neutral air having a much smaller auto cancel window and less range, up air having more end lag, and his dash attack connecting less reliably and sending the opponent at a slightly more horizontal angle. He also has less kill power on his up and down smash, along with his forward tilt not being anywhere near as good at two framing. This version of the character does have an infinite combo, but in order to pull it off, you need to hit your opponent while they're on a platform with a banana. Funny enough, Diddy Kong also has an infinite in Brawl using his banana, but it's actually even easier to do and set up. For the best version of Lucas, I was a little bit iffy, but I decided to go with Smash 4, where he has a stronger combo game and better kill setups thanks to his down throw having such a large window to get follow-ups out of it. If the opponent is at a high enough percent, Lucas can do down throw into up air to close out stocks. At lower percents, Lucas has other follow-ups he can do out of down throw, including footstool combos where he can footstool the opponent and get a jab block into another follow-up. Sometimes he can even combo them into another footstool setup. Unlike Smash Ultimate, if you footstool someone in the air and they hit the ground while they're still in the footstool animation, they cannot tech. Even without down throw, Lucas still has some pretty solid combos and setups, but down throw is easily the most consistent to pull these off with. The worst version of Lucas is Brawl, and this is mainly because of him being heavily exploited by the grab release mechanic. For some reason, both Lucas and Ness have 10 additional frames of lag when they get grab released. This meant that some characters could grab release them across the stage and end it with an additional attack. Some characters like Donkey Kong even have an infinite they could do on him. It's unfortunate because Lucas has some interesting advanced techniques and movement options exclusive to him that look really cool, like the zap jump. But due to how easy his flaw is to exploit, you never really got to see him advance very far in competitive play often. The best version of Sonic is Smash Ultimate. Currently, he's widely considered to be the second best character in the entire game behind Steve. At the beginning of Smash Ultimate, a lot of people thought he was worse than his Smash 4 counterpart due to losing the ability to cancel spin dash with shield. Once we learned more about the game and players such as Sonic's optimized the character more, we saw just how strong he actually is. The mobility buffs he got combined with the game's mechanics made him even harder to catch. His homing attack being improved gives him much more mix-up and combo capabilities he can use alongside his spin dash and spin charge. He has a very strong combo game in multiple ways to close out stocks with his up air, neutral air, spin dash, and spin charge. He's also very strong off stage thanks to his active forward air and back air, in addition to his recovery move Spring having the capability to intercept recoveries. Sonic has by far the best hit and run playstyle in the game, allowing him to safely pressure the opponent while at the same time winding down the clock in preparation for a timeout if he needs it. The worst version of Sonic is Brawl. The thing about Sonic in this game is that he plays roughly the same as he does in the previous iterations, give or take a few changes. But this version of the character is considered to be a mid-tier at best. The reason for him not being as good in Brawl are two major things. The first one is that Smash DI is much more effective in this game. This allows characters to easily avoid combos and attacks that would normally lead to Sonic getting a lot of damage or even setting up into kills. This, in addition to Brawl's lack of hit stun, really hurt Sonic's offensive capabilities. The second thing is that move scaling has a much stronger effect in this game. His best option to finish combos and rack up damage, back air, is also his most reliable kill move, and because of this, the percent where Sonic normally closes out stocks is much higher. He does have the option to land a smash attack or another kill option, but it's not nearly as easy to land. Fun fact, one of the biggest Brawl tournaments ever, MLG Dallas, had 2 Sonic players make top 8. The best version of Dedede is Brawl, which is the only iteration of him that's been competitively viable in official titles of the game. What makes Dedede so strong in Brawl is that he has a down throw chain grab he can do on a large number of characters in the game. Basically, he just down throws them across the stage, and depending on the character, he throws them off stage to try to get an edge guard, or he can sometimes get a follow up that can lead into a stock that way. He even has a standing infinite he can do on some characters. Aside from that, he also has a really good back air, and his up tilt is the strongest it's ever been as a kill move. His side special is different than it is in the later iterations. In this version, he throws Waddle Dees and Waddle Doos, which stay on the stage and can actually walk around and attack the opponent. He also has a chance to throw a Gordo, which is a really strong kill move, and unlike Smash 4 and Ultimate, cannot be hit back to Dedede unless it's reflected. What he throws is random between those three, with Waddle Dee having the highest chance of coming out and Gordo having the lowest. The worst version of Dedede, you can go either way because he's considered just as bad in both Smash 4 and Ultimate. I actually decided to contact Big D, who you might know as being the best Ice Climbers player in Smash Ultimate. He also played Dedede competitively in Brawl, Smash 4, and Ultimate, so I thought who better to ask than him. He thinks Smash 4 is the worst because of Inhale being buffed and being able to forward tilt out a run in Ultimate. From what I've seen as well, I think another thing is that in Smash 4, Dedede's Gordo and Jet Hammer are worse, so he's not able to take advantage of the opponent being off stage as well as he can in Ultimate. Plus, Dedede got some mobility buffs and all of his aerials have less end lag. One thing I will say about Dedede in Smash 4, and that's that he had a better back air due to it having a lot more range, and he has a faster grab. The best version of Olimar is Smash Ultimate, primarily before patch 3.1.0 where he got massively nerfed, and before patch 3.0 where projectile shield damage got nerfed. This version of Olimar had an argument for being the best character in the entire game, especially since there were no DLC characters in the game yet except for Piranha Plant. Not only did he have a smaller hitbox making him harder to hit, but his forward and up smash were better moves with less end lag on them, meaning they're safer on shield and harder to punish. Olimar also did a lot more shield damage with Pikmin throws and forward smash, so it was easier for him to poke and break shields. His recovery was a lot better than it is currently since the wing Pikmin regenerated twice as fast, making it harder for him to get gimped and just giving him more ways to mix up his recovery. A massive change Olimar got in Smash Ultimate is they made his aerials have transcendent priority, so you can't just challenge his Pikmin and beat them out. The worst version of Olimar is Smash 4. Coming from Brawl, Olimar got some pretty massive changes. First off, the max number of Pikmin that Olimar can have in his lineup was reduced from 6 to 3. This makes it easier for him to lose all of his Pikmin, and means he has to be much more selective of what he wants in his lineup. His up special also changed from being a tether recovery to his wing Pikmin recovery. Considering tether recovery's got a pretty huge buff thanks to edgehogging being removed in Smash 4, as well as Brawl Olimar's up special being a decent kill move, I'd say they nerfed his recovery. One of Olimar's best moves, up smash, got a massive nerf. It not only had more startup, but significantly more end lag, making it impossible for him to combo out of it, and making it very unsafe on shield. All of his aerials have more end lag, and his forward air is much weaker kill power wise. He got some decent buffs, but definitely way more nerfs. The best version of Lucario is Smash 4. Competitively, he is one of the scariest characters to play against. This is because on top of Aura, the comeback mechanic that Lucario has, he can also take advantage of Smash 4 Rage, which pretty much allows him to take stocks at absurdly low percents and easily makes him one of the best characters at making comebacks. Compared to Brawl Lucario, he's actually weaker without Aura, which can work in his favor because he now has a decent combo game he can do at lower percents. Basically, all of Lucario's moves either combo better or kill earlier than they did before. The worst version of Lucario is Smash Ultimate. I personally think there are a few reasons Lucario isn't as good in Ultimate compared to the other games, but basically it comes down to Aura. First off, Lucario is one of the characters that was affected by Rage the most due to it being added on top of Aura. With Rage being worse in Ultimate, it harmed Lucario's abilities to make comebacks. Secondly, Lucario is noticeably lighter, meaning he will not be able to survive long enough to abuse Aura as much as he would in the previous games. To add on top of this, a lot of characters in Ultimate have better ways of closing out stocks compared to the other games. So on top of being lighter, having his comeback mechanic get nerfed, he also has to deal with a cast of characters that have better ways of taking stocks and preventing him from utilizing Aura as much. That's been Lucario's greatest flaw in every Smash game. He's so reliant on Aura that if he's unable to abuse it as much, a lot of things automatically get worse for him. It's unfortunate because a lot of his moves did get improved, but it didn't matter because the important thing about the character is a lot worse. The best version of R.O.B is Smash Ultimate, which is the only game he's been top tier so far. This version of R.O.B has an insanely strong combo game, having an easy to do death combo with the use of his gyro. His gyro also gives him the ability to set up traps on stage or at the ledge, and combined with his laser gives him great zoning capabilities. On top of having great zoning, R.O.B also has really good frame data, having one of the safest and fastest ground moves in the game, down tilt, which is also a great combo move. His neutral air, which is another good combo move, and part of the way he does his death combo, has a disjointed hitbox and is very safe on shield. Ultimate R.O.B is a character that is good at just about everything. The worst version of R.O.B is Smash 4. The removal of Brawl's glide tossing made his neutral game worse, and he lost a lot of setups he had without gaining much in return. Most of his attacks have more startup, end lag, and the hitboxes aren't as active or are smaller than they were previously. The new ledge mechanics hurt R.O.B since he no longer is able to refresh his ledge invincibility and would be more susceptible to ledge trapping due to his larger hurtbox. R.O.B did get some improvements such as a new kill combo with his down throw into up air, and Smash DI being worse made his multi-hitting moves more usable. Even with that, his frame data being the worst it's ever been hurt him a lot competitively. Toon Link has roughly stayed around the same tier competitively, so like the other characters, picking one who is the best and worst was difficult, and you definitely can make an argument for the others. But I will say I'm pretty confident who the best is, but let me know in the comments what you think. The best version of Toon Link, I went with Smash 4, specifically 3DS, where he had the ability to cancel hit stun and landings with his down special. This not only made it harder for Toon Link to be comboed, but also gave him more combos and ways to pressure the opponent. He also had additional techniques that they would take away in later patch updates. I don't think there should be any argument about how broken being able to get out a hit stun is, and just flat out avoid combos that most other characters wouldn't be able to. Since we're talking about Toon Link, I also want to say that I changed my answer for regular Link and now think that Smash 4 is the best version of him competitively. The worst version of Toon Link is, believe it or not, also Smash 4. The reason being that in later versions of the game, he'd lose the ability that made him so good in 3DS. Not only that, but Toon Link would also have more matchups in this game that would give him significantly more trouble. Things became significantly worse for Toon Link once Cloud was playable, since he would become Toon Link's worst matchup by a considerable margin. Even with this, Toon Link wasn't a bad character competitively, but compared to the other games, he just had much more difficult matchups that made solo maining him rough. Now we get to the final character of the Brawl roster, Wolf. He's only been in 2 Smash titles, and the best and worst for him are very clear cut. The best version of Wolf is Smash Ultimate, where he's considered a top tier, or at worst high tier. Completely skipping Smash 4, he got a massive change to his moveset. Just about all of his moves have been reanimated and function differently than they did in Brawl. One of the biggest changes he got was to his forward air, which went from being a pretty decent move in Brawl to one of the most important attacks in his moveset in Ultimate. Wolf's forward air in Ultimate is one of the best approaching options and his best move for starting and extending combos. If Wolf gets the right hit, he can do massive amounts of damage and even close out stocks at very early percents. He is one of the best 2-framing options in the game, down smash, that can kill below 50% even with it being nerfed twice. He can also combo to his backer, which is an insanely strong kill move, and Wolf Flash, which can kill on stage, but can also be done off stage to trade stocks or close out games. Brawl, of course, is the worst iteration of Wolf. In Brawl, Wolf is a mid tier, and the main thing holding him back from not being better competitively is that his weight and fall speed make him susceptible to chain grabs and other death combos. If there's a high damaging chain grab or combo that only works on a select few characters, Wolf was almost always one of those characters. When Wolf was able to fight and not get comboed, he actually did great. His blaster is a better tool for zoning out the opponent since it has less cooldown and he can control his horizontal momentum while using it. While his back air is a much weaker move kill power wise, it has significantly less startup and end lag, making it even more safe to throw out. His shine has frame 1 intangibility and has more frames where he couldn't be hit. His Firewolf traveled further and his Wolf Flash could be cancelled. Also, his forward smash is a burst option. So overall, this is the worst version of Wolf, but he had a lot of great tools and is one of the many characters that is hindered by the game's mechanics. And that is it for the video. Let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree with any characters. If you enjoyed the video, drop a like for the YouTube algorithm, and you can subscribe if you want to see more Smash content. Also, unless there's a new Smash game that comes out, I'm probably going to end the series here, so I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.